Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360, live from our studio here at Desawe in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu Date.
And I am Aisha Yakubu Khalid. Coming up in the bulletin this evening.
360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
President John Dramani Mahama promises to fix the economic challenges facing Ghana as he delivers his maiden State of the Nation address to Parliament.
Also coming up, persons living with disability welcome government's readiness to support the passage of Persons with Disability Amendment Bill, which seeks to reserve 5% of employment to disabled persons.
Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology confirms the arrest of the prime suspect in the alleged tragic murder of final-year biological sciences student Joanna Deladem Yabani.
Later in business, the National Insurance Commission moves to sanitize industry as new commissioner warns of hefty fines and license suspension for unethical practices.
And in news from elsewhere, a mysterious viral disease has emerged in parts of Western Democratic Republic of Congo, resulting in at least 53 deaths.
We have details of all these stories and more. Be part of the show. Let's hear what you make of the many stories we have for you tonight.
We're starting off with fallout from the President's State of the Nation address, and President John Dramani Mahama has affirmed his resolve to take the country out of economic mess with a promise to give prosperity for all. The President has therefore extended an olive branch to well-meaning Ghanaians to voluntarily avail themselves in the rebuilding process. The President made these known as he presented his maiden State of the Nation address to Parliament. Here's a report by presidential correspondent Komla Kluche.
A comeback with an overwhelming majority, the President, John Mahama, returned to the legislature where he once served as an MP for the first time, giving the mandatory State of the Nation address as required by law. As suspected, the MPP opposition registered their presence. The President said he was focused and would lay no blame.
My approach is to accept challenges and work hard to resolve them. Indeed, this is precisely what the people of Ghana elected me to do. I have therefore not come here to lament on the state of our country, though there's much to lament about.
But he will set the record straight.
Yesterday, February 26, 2025, marks exactly 10 years since I stood in this chamber, at this very spot, to declare my determination to fix Dumso, a legacy problem of power shortages. And Mr. Speaker, I fixed it. I am moved to make a similar purposeful and bold declaration that I, John Dramani Mahama, I will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on a path of growth and prosperity.
A comeback in building a future of possibilities, in building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top to the down. A promise to fix it. The President painted a grim picture of the country's finances, pointing to unstable debt levels and mismanagement of key state institutions.
There have been claims that buffers were left for debt repayments, oncoming debt repayment this year. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me give you the statement of account for the Debt Service Reserve Account, which is also popularly referred to as the sinking fund. This fund shows a balance of only $64,000 in the dollar account. $64,000 in the dollar account. And 143 million Ghana cedis in the CD account. The repercussions of the accumulation of debt and economic mismanagement will require extensive work and sacrifice to repair.
But what did he inherit?
We have inherited a country that is broken on many fronts. The profundities of the challenges confronting us are staggering. We are saddled with staggering debts and glaring signs of almost deliberate and, in some cases, reckless mismanagement of our resources. Mr. Speaker, not even the restraints of an IMF program were enough for the previous economic managers to exercise prudence in managing our finances. After setting an inflation target of 18% by the end of 2024, the actual outturn was 23.8%, significantly higher than the threshold agreed with the IMF. The Ghana CD continued its downward slide, losing 19% of its value against the dollar in 2024. It had already in the previous year lost 27.8% of its value. In addition to the public debt, which amounts to a staggering 721 billion cedis, several state-owned enterprises are also in debt, including the ECG, which owes 68 billion Ghana cedis.
Right, so the maiden State of the Nation address by President Mahama came with a lively spectacle in the chamber as members of parliament from both sides engaged in chants and slogans. While the majority fully endorsed the message, their opponents on the minority caucus blamed the president for lamenting instead of addressing the country's mess. Christian Yali captured the disruptions and the vibrant moments in parliament.
Maiden State of the Nation address was not without the usual theatrics that you see in the chamber. Right after the national anthem was rolled, members of the minority caucus engaged in a spirited chant, singing portions of the national anthem that they will resist the oppressor's rule. It was a chamber of predominantly black and white colors, whereas the majority clad themselves in white. Their colleagues on the minority caucus adorned themselves in black costumes. Throughout the delivery of the message on the state of the nation, some disruptions were recorded with the speaker calling them to order for some silence.
Resume your seat. I, John Dramani Mahama, will not cancel the free SHS program.
After the president was done with his speech, leaders of both sides took reactions to the message, with the minority leader blaming the president for failing to acknowledge the strides made by the past administration.
A cabinet of 19 with only 2 women. The daughter of the founder of this NDC, Senator Rollins, is missing. Hajia Ladi is missing. Where are the women in this government?
But his reaction was cut short after the speaker ordered him to end his statement for what was seen to be a prolonged statement.
Honorable Minority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, to conclude.
Your time is up. Honorable members.
But that would yet again call the wrath of the minority who stood on their feet singing songs that meant to say the president has returned with power outages popularly known as Dumso. The majority side would not take any of that. For the president, there is a renewed hope for Ghanaians. But the minority insists that it is the old story that they used to know. Christian Yali, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
As many as are in favor of adjournment, say aye. As many as against say no. I think the ayes have it. The House is adjourned.
Let's still stay on the State of the Nation address, and the minority in Parliament says John Dramani Mahama did not deliver the true state of the economy, but that position has been challenged by their majority counterparts. My colleague Mawina Igbeta gauged the sentiments of the MPs after the address.
Opinions were split amongst members of Parliament over whether or not President Mahama had delivered a true reflection of the state of the nation. For the minority, assertions of a mismanaged economy are not true.
Just last year, the economy, to a large extent, had been restored.
Deputy Minority Leader said the address leaves Ghanaians with no hope for the next 4 years.
I don't think there's hope for anybody because all that I listened to were lamentations. If you are lamenting, you have been given the mantle and you claim that you have been given a resounding victory, then fix it.
That assertion, however, was challenged by the NDC, who insists the president has offered renewed hope to deliver the country from the current challenges.
President Mahama has reiterated to the Ghanaian people his desire and will to make sure that he fixes the problem.
Fighting Galamsey, we have also indeed started the process to restore the water bodies, to reclaim the degradable land.
He touched on every aspect. On the issues of health, he demonstrated that he's on top of issues.
On health, ranking on the Health Committee questioned the basis of the government not operationalizing some of the Agenda 111 hospitals.
I don't know why the president said it was operational. If you go to Achansi, a couple of the ones which are ready, they don't have staff. Yet you came in and you were sacking the staff. Achansi now has all the staff, full complement. On Monday, they are starting. So the one that has been finished, please don't sack Ghanaians.
But the Health Minister, Kwamna Mintakando, disagreed.
What it means is that $400 million could have completed not less than 22 of the Agenda 111 project. Not only couldn't they complete the 22, but they still left a debt of not less than 1 billion Ghana cedis.
The debates have just started, and members will take their turn to make statements on the floor of the House.
All right, so let's try and get some different perspectives of what happened in Parliament. Joining us on phone now is economist and director of the Institute for Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISA, Professor Peter Korte. Prof, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to your returning viewers.
The most topical issue in the just ended election was about the economy, and it seemed to have also played a key role in today's State of the Nation address, where the president talked about what they had inherited and what plans they have going forward in resolving some of the challenges. From your perspective, first of all, if government says the current debt of the country is at 721 billion cedis, how do you perceive that government will work out of this current debt of the country?
Yeah, so the debt certainly is high. It was higher than the debt GDP ratio was quite higher than now, given the debt risk settling and forgiveness and all the things, debt exchange program and all. But then having said that, what is important is the way forward. I think we should move away from lamenting or complaining all the time. It's good to tell Ghanaians what the state is in terms of the debt, but it's equally more important to put in strategies. So what are the strategies? One, the sinking fund. We've heard the current government putting more money into the sinking fund because we need to earmark some funds to pay the debt as and when they fall due, to bring some credibility to the market. So that's great. And I think we should sustain that momentum. Secondly, we ought to raise more revenue domestically. We cannot continue to borrow to finance our capex. We cannot continue to borrow to consume. We cannot continue to borrow to finance other investments. What we need is to raise more revenue and be able to be more prudent in our spending. So point number 2 is raise more revenue, broaden the tax base. I'm not saying we should go after the existing taxpayers. They are already overburdened. Our VAT, our tax system is much higher. It's a bit more complex and very burdensome to the business and to the Ghanaian. So let's raise more revenue through taxation, but then bring in the informal sector and also make SOEs more efficient so they can contribute dividend and other forms of non-tax revenue to government. If we're able to raise more revenue domestically and finance our debt, be it domestic or foreign, I think our debts will continue to be more sustainable. At the moment, our debts are not very good. Our debt levels are not very good. It's not encouraging.
All right, Prof. For lack of time, we'll have to leave it here, but thank you for making time to speak with us this evening. Professor Peter Quartey is an economist and executive director of ISE, joining us there.
And our President John Dramani Mahama has strongly indicated that he is committed to enhancing the legal framework surrounding disability rights by passing the Persons with Disability Bill. Addressing Parliament in his first State of the Nation address earlier today, President Mahama reiterated that government intends to ensure the implementation of legislation that enjoins public and private employers to reserve 5% of the employment for persons with disabilities. We take you to Tamale, where persons with disabilities have been reacting to his pronouncements.
According to data from the World Health Organization, 15% of the world's population, representing some 1 billion people, suffer one form of disability. In Ghana, data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that 8% of Ghana's population, representing some 2.4 million persons, have some form of disability as compared to 3% in 2010. In September 2022, Member of Parliament for the Medina constituency, Francis Xavier Sosu, submitted a private member's bill to Parliament seeking the provision of a minimum 5% compulsory employment in both public and private institutions in Ghana for persons with disabilities.
President John Dramani Mahama earlier today presented his first State of the Nation's address to Parliament. In this address, the President indicated that government intends to ensure the implementation of the legislation that enjoins public and private employers to reserve 5% of their employment for persons with disabilities.
Mr. Speaker, the government intends to ensure the implementation of legislation that enjoins public and private employers to reserve 5% of their employment for persons with disabilities.
So we are here to interact with some persons with disability to find out what they make of this statement from the President.
Grateful, that statement, because when you look at person with disability, to be a disabled is not easy, especially the employment. Some offices, like it look like when you are disability or disabled, you can't work there. But as far as the President come out to state it, I think it will help us, because it looks like we are all equal. We are all have wife and the children. So when you look at, supposed to have opportunity for us to also try or to also do our part for the nation.
Road Traffic Regulation of 2012 LI 2180 in Ghana forbids the use of motorbikes or tricycle to cover fare-paying passenger services. But in recent years, tricycles have changed the face of public transport in Kumasi, offering convenient and affordable transport services to patrons. The tricycle business, though illegal on Ghana statute books, has become a huge source of employment for many youth in the metropolis. President Mahama earlier today in his first State of the Nation address hinted of plans to amend the regulatory framework to allow the use of both motorbikes and tricycles for commercial passenger transport. There's more on this report.
For me, the most important part of the SONA is legalizing the operations of tricycles in the country. The influx of tricycles has created job opportunities for many youth in this area, so taking steps to accept their operations is welcome. We want to see the introduction of policies that will help improve our operations, because the police keep hunting and extorting money from us, claiming we are operating illegally. No business has created more jobs in this city like the tricycle business, so we have to regulate it. This is a refreshing news to us, the riders. At least the police will stop disturbing us. We thank the president for thinking about the youth with his plans to amend the law.
Also, driver unions in Koforidua have expressed their support for the president's Big Push program, which aims to rehabilitate roads and reintroduce road tolls using modern technology. In response to the president's recent State of the Nation address, the unions acknowledged that implementing these initiatives would significantly improve the efficiency of the transport system.
Na road marks no ndemu mai se na be ya na manaju ayembre na from peduase lodge wa ko street lights na bi wo anya papa tum na ma hu hwe.
About the road toll issue, I would like the government or whoever is going to implement it to at least make the lines 8 or 7 in every site or every place that the toll is going to be, not only 2 or 3 lanes, because now we have developed, the country has been developed. We have so many cars that goes up and down. If the road is 2 lanes, can you imagine how many traffic we are going to face? So it's supposed to be at least 8 lanes, 6 lanes, 5 lanes along the toll area, so that the vehicular movement will be, excellent. Not only two boxes for people to be there. Then it's going to cause a lot of problems. The road markings are very, very much important. If you go to Europe, the markings are there left and right and straight. So there's no problem there.
Still on the State of the Nation address, let's find out how people in the Western region, specifically Sekendita Krade, are reacting to it, because we're told that some residents are becoming cautiously optimistic following the pledge by the president to revive the economy in specifically their region.
Yeah, I feel so refreshed, reassured, and then I think it's a step in the right direction from the president. Since his inception of office, all his actions and statements actually proves that he's actually in to help the Western region gain its past glory. And then with our very able Honorable Joseph Nelson in office as the Western Regional Minister, I am very hopeful that the Western region will bounce back to the old days, the old glories, where the Western region was the hub of industries and then factories that was, actually contributing a lot to the development of this country. So I'm happy and I am very much refreshed this afternoon hearing this from the president.
I'm happy the president mentioned the Western region. You know, Gigi held the development dialogue a few days back. So we believe that if the president is going to focus on Western region's development, it's good news, and we're going to follow through to ensure that the Western region gets its due from the national cake.
We are grateful to the president for this assurance. Already, he's given us 3 hard-working ministers, and I'm talking about Honorable Emiriata as the Minister for Fishes and Aquaculture, Honorable Amakufibua for Lands and Mineral Resources, then Honorable Joseph Nelson as the regional minister.
All right, so we're staying on the issues of what happened in Parliament today because President John Mahama has promised to work closely with the Judicial Council to effectively end what he describes as politicization of justice delivery in the country. He lamented the low confidence level of the public in the judiciary during his first State of the Nation address. Lord Asare reports.
Ghana's judicial independence dropped significantly in the 2024 Mo Ibrahim Index on African Governance released in November. The report showed a decline in judicial autonomy from 100% to 50% over the past 7 years. Per the report, the country suffered a 14.9-point index decline between 2014 and 2023, making it the worst deterioration in Africa. Delivering his first State of the Nation address as president, John Mahama described the confidence levels of Ghana's judiciary as being at an all-time low.
The justice and legal sectors play pivotal roles in ensuring accountability and fostering the fair, equitable treatment of all our citizens by the state and its agencies. Delays and uncertainties have plagued justice delivery in Ghana, leading many Ghanaians to perceive a politicization of the judicial process. The public trust in the judiciary's independence is alarmingly low. We must work together to restore confidence in the judiciary.
He pledged to restore the confidence in the judiciary by restoring its independence while working with the Judicial Council.
My government will uphold the judiciary's independence and work with the Judicial Council and services to depoliticize justice delivery and collaborate closely with the Chief Justice to combat corruption effectively.
As part of efforts to improve the independence of the judiciary and enhance the justice system, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono in 2024 introduced new courts to sit during weekends and holidays. The Judicial Service has also been running an electronic justice system launched in 2019 to help speed up court processes and reduce human interferences. Lord Asare, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's now move away from the President's State of the Nation address, and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has confirmed the arrest of the prime suspect in the alleged tragic murder of final-year biological sciences student Joanna Deladem Yabani. According to the university's latest statement, the suspect, a fellow student who resided in the same hostel as the deceased, was apprehended by the regional police. The arrest follows an extensive review of CCTV footage which provided critical evidence. Authorities also found clothing worn during the crime in the suspect's possession, which has to be retrieved as evidence. In response to the tragic event, KNUST, in collaboration with the Regional Police Command led by the IGP, has significantly boosted security across campus. Let's go on to Zoom now and speak to Ashanti Regional Correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar on this unfortunate event. Ibrahim, good evening to you. If you can hear me, very sad news coming from KNUST. What have you been gathering on this?
Well, Aisha, we do know that the police is still investigating the matter, but you come here, you talk to people, they keep giving you different accounts, but most of them tell me that they know the gentleman who has been arrested, and he was very close to the deceased, Joanna Deladem, and others are even confirming he was the boyfriend of the deceased. But over the past few weeks, they've continuously had misunderstanding, and that's how come people are not surprised, even with the police picking him up. But currently, you come to campus, you realize that there is a bit of fear and panic among some of the students, even though, like they rightly mentioned in the students or in the press release, you move to where the incident happened or the dark spots, then you begin to see students moving in pairs or even in groups because they don't want to move individually because of what has happened. Currently, the information we have is that the parents of the deceased are on campus. They arrived to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Campus this morning when the management informed them, and they are currently receiving some form of psychological support from management because it's not easy losing a child who is in the final year. So they are in touch with management and currently receiving that support. Indeed, we've seen a couple of police personnel patrolling the community or the campus, and we've also seen the campus security also being positioned at strategic points, so that they'll be able to ensure the safety of students on campus this evening and beyond.
Ibrahim, thank you very much for that detailed update from the KNUST. We are hopeful that in subsequent bulletins you will bring us more. Thank you very much.
Management of Aquafresh Limited, producers of Calipo and Frutelli fruit drinks, have paid a courtesy call to the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuhu Sharbutu. During the visit, they donated cartons of their products to support the Muslim fraternity as they fast this Ramadan.
Speaking to the media, the head of sales and marketing, Santosh Keshri, said the visit forms part of their corporate social responsibility.
I believe that this is the month which is a very holy month, and it is a festival month, and everybody pray for betterment, everybody pray for the prosperity and the peace, those who can bring it into these nations. As we know that everywhere there is a lot of problems going on around the world, and we need a real blessing and a real prayer to overcome all those kind of hurdles and all the problems throughout the world. They open the prayer in these holy festivals. In the evening time, they come sit together and they can share the food, they share the drinks. That was the purpose, because we are manufacturing the fruit juice, so that we thought that, okay, why not we can also contribute some part of things, so we can assist them, we can help them to also to open their prayers.
The National Chief Imam indicated that the less privileged in the society are going to benefit from the kind gesture.
Because of that, God's servants, those the needy in the society, are those who are going to make use of it. We also pray for more peace and harmony in the country.
The spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Aramiyao Shaibu, called on all Muslims to keep to the good value during this Ramadan season.
As Muslims, we all appreciate the very deep meaning and the spirituality of fasting. And let's all keep to the values. The values of compassion, the values of honest living and true dedication to God, the values of building personal discipline, which our modern time and our nation needs a lot. I want to say that God will bless this company, let it flourish and boom, and make it among the most, prosperous companies.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have more stories for you after the break.
One bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. One bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I want fat missy way.
Repacho bantama.
Matias.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me, Judy said we use KL360 toothpaste.
KL360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. KL360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
KL360 did the work. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
Hey, you will see so feeling KL360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
KL360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A part